Hey, Coach. Finish your last scrimmage. No tackling today, and really it's first second team versus the scout team. What was your overall assessment?
Oh, we didn't tackle really because in the last couple scrimmages we've gotten guys beat up, and we still got guys in the training room today that got hurt last week in the scrimmage. So, just trying to get a healthy football team prepared as we can to go down there next weekend. We're going to need every healthy body that we think is at the top of the depth chart. Overall, I hope Coastal Carolina isn't as good as our scout team, because I thought our scout team did a really good job today, and I don't feel like our ones and twos that were going against them executed fundamentally, and the assignments, and just overall not real pleased with how we performed today. And
I guess Tyler got most of the opening round snaps, and seemed like the first team offense went pretty smooth, but you were without two of your fullbacks today, Tyson Riley and Jacoby Buchanan.
It's a little hard to tell on some of those runs when you hand the ball off if they're going to get tackled right there. I told the officials, just spot the ball. If you think anybody's close, just blow the whistle and spot the ball. There might be a couple more yards in there, but there weren't enough big plays against a team that today, a scout team, and they've played against our offense for the last 2 weeks. But I mean, some of those guys were playing in high school last year or playing at the prep school last year. And I mean, they're not at the top of the defensive depth chart for those guys to go out there and stop the offense on a 3 and out, or get negative yardage plays, put us in negative yardage plays, which is one of the big things we harp on. I wasn't very pleased. I don't think the first offense or second offense or any offense moved the ball very well. And we got to move it better. And if we don't play better, if we don't find a way to block better, control the line of scrimmage better next week, then they're going to kick the ever living crap out of us. And that's where we are right now.
And your scout team did set up in some spread offense today. And what are some of the looks that you expect Coastal Carolina to play with?
We tried to simulate as much as we could formationally and the action of the plays, what we think we're going to get from Coastal. Obviously, we aren't certain, but they've got a dynamite quarterback and a backup quarterback who started games and played in some big victories for them, the Carpenter kid. And he's got a great supporting cast, and they are so well coached. Jamie Chadwell does an incredible job. They're very athletic on defense. And they got an outstanding team. I think they've won 23 games in the last 2 years. That's one of the top teams in college football. So I know they're well coached, and it's going to take a great effort on our part to win the game. And it's going to take our defense being able to stop an offense that's one of the best in terms of scoring last year, and the efficiency. If you look at what they did per pass play and what they did per run play, they're as good as anybody in college football.
Kicking, Quinn Marinsky had a couple of good field goal tries today. Cole Talley had one blocked early and made one, and you had some pretty good punts out there, I would say.
The one that got blocked, I think Cole just kicked it low. I'll see it again on film, but it looked like it hit our own guys in the back. I'm really pleased with the way both those guys have been kicking. I think they've been kicking the ball well. Obviously, Quinn stepped in there and really kicked some good kicks. Billy is doing a good job with the punting, and pleased with him taking over for Zach Harding. The snapper Aguilar, he's doing a good job, and he's obviously done that for a year for us, so he's a veteran. Just overall the coverage teams and the block teams, the return teams, there's things that we got to do better, and they all, it just really comes down to fundamentals. It's not, guys aren't aligned so terribly awful that they don't give us a chance. It's just as we start to execute the play, there's fundamental things that they can do better. And those are correctable this week.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Ken.
We'll go over to Zoom. Charles.
Good afternoon, Coach. It's interesting. This is an intriguing college football season opener whereby I believe Nebraska and Northwestern are traveling thousands of miles to play their opener in Dublin. And here you are next week. This time you'll be in South Carolina for your opener. You know, coming off today's scrimmage, what is the preparation itinerary for this upcoming week for you guys?
We really went through this past week just like we will next week. I wanted to get those guys kind of some semblance of consistency. It'll change after we play. We're a Sunday workout team, but we'll practice on Monday and really be very light on Tuesday. We'll practice again a little heavier on Wednesday, walk through on Thursday, practice again on Friday, and then get on the airplane and travel down there on Friday afternoon. And then from there, it's just meetings and walkthroughs and those kinds of things. So that's pretty typical in terms of a game week, with the exception of we'll flip the Sunday and Monday. We would practice on Sunday and not on Monday, which will begin after we return home from South Carolina.
Right, and the defensive line, it has some obvious talent, some notable returners, combined with some newbies, if you will. Can you provide us with a glimpse into this group and who you anticipate seeing action on September 3rd?
That's probably a position where we will play the ones and twos a pretty good bit. That it won't just be the same three guys in there the entire game, but guys like Felici, Komorowski, Tuioti, Richardson, I mean, all those guys at nose, and then Frey, Bonsu, Austin Hill, Nate Smith, Copeland. You know, there's some guys in there that I think will all rotate in there at the end positions. So it's just a group with a pretty good number of veterans, and guys that maybe are a little bit different. You know, there's a big difference between a guy like Austin Hill and Bonsu and Frey. Bonsu and Frey are long and real heavy guys. Hill's a much quicker guy. Copeland more like Hill. So, you know, there's just things that we do with each of those guys, and I think each one of them brings some value to what we're trying to accomplish on defense.
Great. And my final question, were there any one or two guys that maybe caught your attention today and perhaps maybe solidified their status, not on the depth chart, but also even on the traveling squad?
Just thinking about today. You know, there's a freshman running back, Hayden Reed, and he made some errors today, but it's like I like how fast he plays and how physical he plays for a freshman. He's kind of working his way up the depth chart. I don't know that he's ready to take every snap at this point, but just at least provide some depth. Blaine Cleaver, who he had that holding penalty against him on that long run we had called back, which was just, you know, a mistake fundamentally, but how he's developed. He was playing linebacker, I guess at this time a year ago as a freshman, and we moved him in the spring to tight end, and he's just really taken to it and is doing a really nice job. He's definitely the number 2 guy there. And we've moved several guys. We moved David Crossan from defensive line to tight end, and he's not ready to play every snap yet, but we've seen some good things out of him. And the way the offensive line, the inexperienced guys in the offensive line have developed, like Jackson Flipwitz was playing guard and has played some center. Buckingham, Dellinger, Lombardi, those guys are all guys with little or no experience in games, and I think, you know, they're just going to provide the depth, and they've come along and done a good job. So there's other positions that have had guys step up, but those are 2 that I think of. You know, that on defense, we're going to look different at linebacker. Obviously, we've got Malcolm Morrison is graduated, so Jimmy Charlo being the guy that starts there, and Jimmy's really had a good camp and been pleased with him. Chance Keith, who moved from corner in there to that position as well. I think he's doing a good job and certainly improving as the weeks go on here. And then Calvin Crummy finding his way to the top of the lineup at inside linebacker in place of Eric Smith. So, you know, there's some guys that are at every position. That's just the way it's got to go. You hope guys will kind of develop and ready themselves, and when it's their turn, they're able to make some plays.
Great. Thanks a lot, Coach. Appreciate it.
Okay, we'll go to Tom and then Ken, you can wrap us up.
Hey, Coach, we talked to Spencer Jones earlier. Can you talk about his progress coming back from the injury?
He's continued to improve. He's dropped some weight. His weight kind of got up there as he's going through his rehabilitation. He's moving a lot better. He's a really smart player and a good leader, and I know he's got a great desire to get himself into the mix and play. And it just, you know, it takes some time. And when you have an injury like that, it just takes some time. The confidence to play like you played before and turn it loose. And I think you were seeing the same out of Jackson Powell, who had surgery on his knee and is back now playing outside linebacker. And you know, it takes some time. But both of those guys are gaining confidence, and the more they play, the closer they get. They'll certainly be able to help us on special teams when they're not playing on defense.
Great.